Can you describe the problem that your app solves without mentioning a single feature? Think about it. Right now, you probably have an app idea. Maybe you have already started prompting Claude or ChatGPT to build it. You are thinking about the features, the design, and maybe even the name. But if you can't clearly describe the problem without talking about the app itself, you're probably building on sand. I made this same mistake when I was building my own app 6 months ago. I built an app that nobody used, not even myself. That's when I came up with these 6 questions I have to answer before I write a single prompt. I call it the 6 questions filter. If you are new here, I'm Frank. I like learning new skills because I enjoy the challenge and I want to make money from what I build. Here are the 6 questions you have to answer before you write a single prompt and think about wasting months building an app nobody will probably use. The one sentence rule. Can you describe the problem without mentioning the solution? Can you describe the problem in just a sentence? When I was building Revamp, if you ask me what problem was I solving, I would have told you I'm building a payment presentation platform. But that's not a problem. That's a solution I fell in love with. I was building a feature I thought was cool, but cool doesn't mean money. You might be thinking, but I probably know my problem. Are you sure? Because I was convinced I knew my problem, and that made me waste months building something nobody will use. But with my profit tracking app, it was different. I could say the problem in one sentence. I don't know how much profit I'm making across my project. That is it. Simple. Without mentioning the solution, without mentioning an app. If you can't mention the problem without talking about the app, you don't have a problem. You have an idea and you're in love with your idea, and everything you build after that will fall apart. You pass the one sentence rule. Good. But that's not even the hardest part. I almost made the same mistake twice. The gap finder, which is the second one. What are the existing solutions and why are they not working? The first thing people say when they see a competitor is somebody already built this and they quit. That's not the right mindset. The real question is, why is the existing solution not good enough? Most people see competitors and give up, yet the best opportunity lies in the frustration people have with existing solutions. Instead, competitors are very good signs. They mean the problem exists and people are seeking for a solution. For my profit tracking app, spreadsheet exists and many other tracking app exist, but none of them fit my workflow. I needed to open my computer, open a spreadsheet, memorize the formula, make sure I map the correct data inside the correct cell. And that was too much friction for something that I could do in 30 seconds right from my phone. And this broke my workflow. That's the frustration gap between what exists and the problem I had. And it's what told me there was something worth building. Skip this step and you'll waste months building something that already exists, or worse, build something that nobody is ready to switch from existing solution or what you build. All right, you found a gap with existing solution, but here's the thing. Just because there is a gap, that it means it has to be filled. This is our third question. Does solving this actually change something in your life? Sure, your idea probably changes something, but be honest with yourself. Does it change something or does it make something more convenient? Because there is a big difference between a cosmetic fix and a structural change. Revamp made my invoices look prettier, but it didn't change anything in my workflow. It didn't change how I got paid. It didn't change my decision making. But with Riddle, it's completely different. It changed how I understand my business. Because right now, I know exactly how much profit I made across all my projects. That's the biggest difference. That's not convenience, that's structural change. When you solve a real problem, you feel the difference immediately, not after days, not after weeks, not after learning a new system or integrating it thoroughly inside your workflow. You feel it right away. That's the biggest difference. If the solution doesn't change how you operate daily, you are building a nice to have. A nice to have doesn't survive. So your idea passes the so what check. Solving it would genuinely change something. Yeah, this question is the one that would have saved me half a year and a lot of money. Number four, the mirror rule. Will I actually use this app myself? If you want to use something every day or use it consistently in your workflow, why will a stranger pay for it? With Revamp, I tested the features. With Riddle, I used the app. Testing and using the app are two completely different things. When I was building Revamp, I was just checking if each functionality was working correctly. I used to click here and there to check if everything is okay. I rarely send an invoice with it to my customers, and I was testing it, not using it. With Riddle, Everything is different. It has my real data. I can know exactly how much I have, how much I had for which day, and anyone using it, it could help the person. It's not something that I built that I won't use. It's something I use on a daily basis, and it's helping me in my workflow to clearly organize my business. And also, when you are your own first user, every bug is personal and every feature is something that you want to add. That's the best quality control that you could ever have. I know what you're probably thinking. What if I'm building something for someone else, not for myself? That's true. But you should feel the problem, because if you don't feel the problem, you can't solve it. You're your own first user. You actually need this tool. And yet, most people stop here and go and build this for a year. That's exactly where the trap is. Now comes our fit point, the 30 days rule. How fast can you build this? If you can't build a working version under 30 days, your scope is too big and it becomes hard to kill, because this time invested, even if when you see evidence that this is something that you should stop or stop working on, you won't do it because of the time you have already invested in building this. When you have spent so much time building something, your brain won't let you move away this easy. And that's the hardest part, to separate from something that you have dedicated so much time and you have to leave because you clearly see that it's not working. Revamp took me over 6 months, and by month three, I already felt that something was wrong. And I kept pushing because of the time I've already invested. Whereas with my profit tracking app, I had a working version on my phone in weeks, not months. It wasn't perfect, but it was functional. I could see my real data and use it across my different projects. Now I know the objection. You might say 30 days is not enough to build my app. But the thing is, you don't have to build the whole thing in 30 days. It's to see whether you can build something that people can test and give you feedback. This is the last question. And honestly, the one that separates builders from gamblers, I'll call it the desert island. If nobody uses the app, will you still use the app in 6 months? If the answer is no, you are not building a tool. You are betting on finding customers. When you can honestly answer this question, you have already won. Because even if nobody downloads it, if nobody pays for it or nobody uses it, you're your first customer. And that's the most important. You're not desperate for users unless you are building this as a source of income. And in the case you are building it as a source of income, you should probably reevaluate and think again on all your ideas and see if they pass all earlier questions, so that you will not waste all this time building something that nobody is going to use. Think about this. When most people build an app or build something, they think about, will I make money from it? Will people use it? Will I get downloads? How long will it take? But when you pass the desert island, you don't have any of that pressure. You know that even if you don't have or you don't make money out of it, something that will genuinely help you and will improve something in your life. The truth is, last time I opened Revamp was to make one of my YouTube B-roll and explaining how much of a failure it was. But the difference with Riddle is I open it every day, anytime I'm working on a project, anytime I get paid, I input it and the amount is saved. And that's the difference. I still know I will use it days to come, in the years to come. Before you go, let me leave you with this. The next time you have an idea and you're about to open Claude or ChatGPT in order to build it, ask yourself, can you actually describe the problem without talking about the app or the features? If you can, that's good. Now check, does something already exist and tries to solve it? And why are people still frustrated with it? If you can find that gap, ask yourself honestly, does fixing it genuinely change something and change how you live or work? Or is it just a nice to have? Then the big one, will you use this yourself? Not test it, use it every day with real data or in your workflow. Can you get a working version under 30 days or less? And finally, if nobody downloads it, will you still use the app in the 6 months to come? If you can confidently say yes to these 6 questions, build it. If you can't, you just save yourself months, and that's worth more than anything you would have made. But there is an exception. Unless you want to gain experience or you are learning a new skill, then you can go ahead and build whatever comes to your mind. But as long as you have intentions of making money or you have long term intention for this, I bet you have to answer all these questions before you start building or you open any code editor to build their app. I made a promise to myself after building Revamp that I will never build something without it passing these 6 questions. Riddle passed all 6. It will soon be available on the Play Store. In the next video, I'll get deeper into how I answered all these 6 questions for this my profit tracking app. See you in the next one. Peace.